Hello everyone, welcome to my studio. Today is all about drawing. So I've decided I'm going to teach you to draw something that I did back in January during the bushfires, and also when there was very little rain in the country and we were all holding out for it to rain. So I was inspired by some pretty hot conditions, and sat on the lounge at home one day when it was very hot and drew a rainbow, and with in mind the Australian animals that were being terribly affected by the bushfire at the time. So I was praying and hoping for rain, so that was my inspiration with this piece. It then became a very popular image that I decided to have it printed onto canvas boards, which is like the piece you can see here. And over the last 6 months we've sold a few of these, and children have been painting them all over Australia. So today I thought this was a good thing to show you what to do. What I've got here in front of me is some very plain A4 white paper, so you can use any paper you've got lying around at home. There's a pencil, which this one here is a 2B, so the lead is a kind of a medium lead, which is rather nice for drawing. And I've got what they call putty rubber, and the putty rubbers are quite kneadable and you can move them around, and they're great for rubbing out if you need to remove something from your drawing, which I'll show you how to do today. It's always handy to have a little sharpener on hand in case you break your lead or if your pencil gets a bit blunt. So to start with, we're going to start with our rainbow, and we're going to divide our paper in half. I'm just going to put a very light line across there. And on the bottom half of our paper, we're going to draw a circle. And I'm going to fill that half of the paper up with the whole circle. And this is going to be our first step to our rainbow. Okay, a nice big circle down there. Okay, with our circle, we're going to divide it up. So firstly, into quarters. So a line across here, and a horizontal line here, and then we're going to divide it up one more time, and we're going to have 8 wedges. So a line through here, it's a bit like a pizza, and a line through here. Okay, from there I want you to draw a little circle in the middle, like that. Okay, so we have a bit like wool or pizza. So that is the first stage to our rainbow. Now I want you to get your kneadable rubber, or just the plain rubber if that's what you've got at home, and I want you to remove half of the circle like this. So we now have 4 sections. Okay, so a rainbow is made up of 7 stages or 7 steps, of which we're going to create in our first wedge here. So we've got first space, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and that last one on the outer is 7. Now, if we move to the next wedge, next slice, we follow our line around. Try and keep your wrist fairly loose and your lines fairly soft. like that. Follow that around. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it will just give us a guide. Like that. And again, through the next wedge. And to our final one. And there we have it. We have 7 sections. Now, again, we pick up a rubber and let's get rid of the middle bit. And any of those lines through here, and there we have even rainbow, so that's a very good start. Okay, so you'll notice that our rainbow is sitting a little bit higher. So down here, this part here is on the ground, and this is where the water is going to fall. Okay, so we can create these very wide ovals. And that's going to create the effect of puddles on the ground when our rain falls onto the ground. Okay, so moving on, I think what I'll do is I'll show you exactly how to draw what's in this one here. So starting with our little girl who is sitting really at the top and in the middle of the rainbow. We're going to create a shape. So I'll be calling a lot of shapes. It's a bit like an oval, okay? Right, from there, the back of her dress or the neckline, I want you to bring down like this. And above it, 2 little lines that will be her neck, okay? Then creating a bodice to the dress at the top, we bring down through like this, either side, and you'll see that we've created a back of her dress, 2 arms, and I'm going to just get rid of that little round bit there, and bring her dress so it's falling over the top of the rainbow like that. Just rub that little bit up. And her head then is going to be an oval. And you can choose to give her any hairstyle you like. I think today we'll just have hair falling to the shoulders. So lots of short strokes with our pencil, shoulder length hair with a bit of a curl at the end. And here she is. Okay, now sitting next to her, I'm going to put a koala bear, and he's like 2 circles, so we start with a smaller circle here and then a bigger circle sitting here on the rainbow. Okay, and some ears either side of that top circle. Little strokes to fluff his ears out. And the same for around his head. Now try and keep his centre of the head fairly light, so when we shade it, that will help create that sort of 3D effect. We can bring our rubber in and remove some of that pencil through the middle. Okay, again, some little short strokes of the pencil helps it to look like fur. And there he is from behind. Very simple little shape. Okay, then next to Ken the koala, let's put a kookaburra. Okay, so the kookaburra usually has a bit of a fat tummy, so do a little shape like that and pop his head on like this, and a beak. And his little eye. And we can give him some feathers as well. Generally like to keep his little tummy fairly white, so just a very soft shade through there. Maybe bring our rubber in and soften that area a little bit. Kookaburras are fairly square at the top of their head as well. Darken under his beak and leave that part, the top part of his beak, fairly plain. Okay. Now, moving on to the other side of our little girl, we might put Mr. Platypus, and he's a very simple shape. So he's half a small circle like that. We're going to keep him very simple. And another little line like that, which is the start of his beak, and his little beak that's poking over the rainbow, just through like that. Very simple. His two little eyes, and what I do like to do is put a couple of pupils in, both to one side of his eye, so that he's looking at his friends sitting on the rainbow. And we might give him two little paws like that, so he's holding on to the edge. There he goes. Right, so there we've got the kookaburra, the koala, our little girl, our platypus, and now we're going to put in our little boy. And like in this picture here, I've got him sitting sideways and looking out to the rain. So we're going to start with his shorts. Okay. And his little leg. So that's his start of his leg and his knee. Bend his leg like that. And his little foot at the end. Bring his short up there. Okay. Now we'll bring in his shirt. So the rest of his body is a bit like a rectangle, so we might just pop that in first. This arm is hiding behind that side of his body, whereas this other arm, put a sleeve in, is resting on his leg, so we can bring his arm down like that. Just get rid of that line there. And I'll put his second leg in through here. Okay. Now we'll move to the top of the shoulders and we'll put on a little neck and an oval shape again for his head, for the head. pencil strokes for his hair. Darker around the edges, make it a bit more rounded. Now, so there we've got our little boy sitting there too. Okay, so with the clothing, it's completely up to you whether you want to put some patterns on it. With the little girl, I was thinking I might just give her a little bit of a bodice and put some little flowers on it, but you could put spots or stripes. I'm a bit of a flower fan, so put some flowers on, like that. And I think maybe some stripes on the little boy's shirt. Just parallel down the back of his shirt, like that. Very simple. Okay, so the last animal we're going to put in is our little kangaroo who's poking from behind the rainbow, poking his little head out. Okay, so he doesn't have to be very big, but I'm going to put in his little face first, and it again is like an oval, and he's got lovely big ears. Put those in either side of the head, and then you don't see much of his body at all, but just his little neck. Okay. We'll give him a little nose, just a little mark like that, and two little eyes. Again, the pupils can be looking this way, so pupil on that side, pupil on that side, and a little smile. Because he's very happy because it's raining. Okay, so we're getting close to finishing. The next thing we'll do is put in a cloud, which can go at the top of our paper. It's just a very soft line, go across like that, and maybe a couple others to create that sort of fluffy, cloudy look. And our last thing to do then is put in some raindrops. As many as you like. So it's just like a little teardrop. And like that. Some through here, and we could even put some over the top of the rainbow. And a couple down here too, as if they're hitting these puddles. And there we have it, a drawing representing a very happy day in Australia earlier in 2020, when the rain came and gave us a little bit of relief. Don't forget to sign your drawing. I always like to sign down in the right hand corner, like that, and feel free to colour it. I have just done an example here for you where I've used a bit of watercolour, but you could use some pencils as well. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.